Pamela. Hey, boss man. And other people. Hey, Kimmy. Hello, Anissa. Hey, Tom. Hey, W. Murphy. Hey, Zoe. Tap, 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 tap. Hello, everybody. Hey, Kingfisher. Hey, Julie. Hey, Ruby. Come on in. Paranormal Wednesday. Hey, Shirley. Let's start showing the light, if you would. 5 frames, 10 frames, pass it on. Paranormal Wednesday, you share your stories tonight. I have one picked, but I want to hear yours. Who will be brave? Who will be bold? Linda. Hello, Caffeinated Sloth. Hey, Cece. Hey, Spitfire. Hey, Judy Willis. Thank you, Nana Shirley. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Hey, Kingfisher. Y'all are saying anything. I love this community. Come on in. Paranormal Wednesday. There are new stickers. Did you see them? There they are. I see them. Hey, ask me, LOL. Hey, XJ. Hey, Marine's daughter. Hey, Justine. Who's ready for some spooky stories? I know I am. Hey, Amber Dowdy. Hey, Lou. I saw that, Melanie. Oh, I love some music now. Hey, Lulu. Got your stories ready. Hey, Tracy. I'm going to show the dress again. This is a new one. Well, I've had it in the closet for some time. And it goes all the way to the floor. The design on it is exquisite. Lovely. Hello over there in YouTube land. Isn't she pretty? Thank you, Amber. Five more minutes. Thank you, Kingfisher. Hello, Anby. How are you? Hey, Wolves Whisper. Let's see who we have over in YouTube. How does a ghost that was a math teacher scare people? I don't know, Jessica. How? Hey, Tommy Jean recovering. Hello, Double O. One minute. Are you ready for scary stories? Let's bring it down. Welcome to Twisted Tales Live. I am your host, Bryn Morgan. I am a horror author, but I am also a teller of scary stories. Tonight is Paranormal Wednesday. But there's a twist. A play on Twisted Tales. Tonight, we want to hear your paranormal encounters. Are you ready? Now, I have a story that I have prepared, and I will start telling it. When I see you come up in the box, I will click, and you can come in and share your experience, your bump in the night, your shadow. Tonight's the night. I want to hear from you, night dweller. Hello, Nikki Monroe. Thank you to everyone who is supporting the stream tonight. Thank you for the taps. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. If you like scary stories, paranormal stories, ghost stories, true crime, serial unalivers, Appalachian horror, cryptids, folklore, urban legends. That's right, we carry it all here. If you like it, hit that follow button and the notification bell and never miss another Twisted Tales Live. Oh, that's fantastic. So glad to hear that. Welcome in, Jamie Barnett. Thank you. Scream of Fire. Welcome. I love your name. Hey, little cat. Hey, Alabama. Thank you for sharing. So, here in the night realm, we have a way of entering story time. Ready? Lower your lights. Light a candle for ambiance. Lock your doors. Pull your curtains nice, tight. Wrap yourself in your warmest blanket to avoid the chills that are about to enter your room. Did you hear the thunder? I love it. Nothing like a summer thunderstorm. Let's begin. Welcome, night dwellers, to the night realm. I am the Night Queen, and tonight I am going to take you to the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Let me know in the comments. I'm ready. I know there's a storm here too. Perfect. Come on up in the box. Don't be shy. I promise I won't bite too much. I'll begin the story. You are encouraged to come in and share. The St. Augustine Lighthouse, where children's laughter echoes through eternity. Tonight is a true terror tale for the night dwellers. A 10-chapter bone-chilling account of tragedy, death, and supernatural terror in America's oldest city. Welcome, my faithful night dwellers, to another descent into darkness with your Night Queen. Tonight we journey to America's oldest city, where cobblestone streets whisper secrets and Spanish moss hangs like ghostly curtains in the humid Florida night. Picture this. Towering centennial of black and white stripes, standing 165 feet tall against the Atlantic horizon. The St. Augustine Lighthouse, a beacon that has guided ships safely to shore for over 150 years. But tonight, my devoted followers of the darkness, you'll discover that some vessels it guides are not of this world. Let me show you a picture. I personally love lighthouses. When I was looking up the history on this one, I was chilled. To look at it, you would think, that place isn't haunted. Oh, but I beg to differ. This is the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Here's another one. It's quite lovely. This lighthouse is located in St. Augustine, Florida. Don't be shy. You have a paranormal story to share? Tonight's the night. They call it St. Augustine, the most haunted city in America. Did you know that? And at its heart stands this lighthouse, a monument to tragedy, a collector of souls, a place where the dead refuse to abandon their post. For within these coquina walls, made of limestone and crushed seashells, something sinister dwells. This isn't just another ghost story, Night Dwellers. This is a documented case that has terrorized paranormal investigators, sent ghost hunters running in fear, and proven that some tragedies are so profound, so heart-wrenching, that they tear holes in the very fabric between life and death. So extinguish your lights if you haven't already. Lock your doors, although you won't be able to keep them out, and prepare your souls for a climb up 219 steps into pure terror. But once you hear the children's laughter echoing through the lighthouse stairs, you'll never feel safe in the dark again. Welcome to the night room, where love transcends death. And sometimes that's the most terrifying of all. Chapter 1, The Foundation of Fear. Question: what happens when you build a beacon of hope on ground soaked in blood and tragedy? To understand the horror that plagues the St. Augustine Lighthouse, my Night Dwellers, we must first journey back to 1565. Long before the Pilgrims ever set foot on Plymouth Rock. St. Augustine stands as the oldest continually occupied European settlement in the United States. And with that ancient history comes something far more sinister than tourism brochures dare to mention. The Spanish conquistadors didn't just build a city here. They built it on a foundation of violence and death. The very name, Matanzas, the bay that the lighthouse overlooks, means slaughter. Did you know that? In Spanish. It was named for the 245 French Huguenots who were butchered here in 1565. Their blood seeping into the very soil that will later support this beautiful lighthouse. Now, the first lighthouse wasn't the elegant tower that we know today. Not at all. Oh no, night dwellers. The first official record of the lighthouse dates back to an Italian-made map from 1589, showing a crude wooden watchtower perched on the northern tip of Anastasia Island, like a vulture waiting for carrion. For over 280 years, that primitive watchtower stood centennial, watching as empires rose and fell. The Spanish built it. The British claimed it. The Americans inherited it. Each conquest brought new bloodshed, new deaths, new souls trapped between walls. During the American Civil War, Confederate sympathizers living in St. Augustine sabotaged the lighthouse in order to block Union shipping. They darkened the beacon. Picture this, a stormy night at sea. Normally there would be a beacon of light cast upon the water, but not this night. They darkened the beacon that it saved countless lives, turning it into an instrument of death. Ships crashed against the rocky shores, their crews drowning in the Atlantic waters, black as night, while their screams echoed across Anastasia Island. Can you hear their screams? Their terror. I can. But the most terrifying aspect of this history isn't what we know. No, night dwellers. It's what we can feel. Every visitor to the lighthouse speaks of it. An oppressive weight in the air. As if the very atmosphere is thick with the memory of centuries of violence and tragedy. By 1870, the old Spanish watchtower was crumbling into the sea. The government decided, we'll build a new one. A magnificent structure that would stand as a beacon of hope and progress in the post-Civil War era. But they made one fatal mistake. What was that, my queen? They built it on the same cursed ground. The same soil that had been watered with blood for over 300 years. The same island where so many souls had met violent, unexpected deaths. And as construction began in 1871, the spirits that had been waiting in the darkness for centuries finally found their chance to reclaim what they believed was rightfully theirs. The new lighthouse wouldn't just guide ships to safety, night dwellers. It would become a supernatural prison, trapping the living and the dead together in a tower of terror that reaches toward heaven, but is anchored firmly in hell. Chapter 2: The Children's Playground of Death. Here's a question for you. What kind of innocence is required to turn a construction site into a playground? And what kind of horror results from it? Ah, a brave soul has stepped forward. Let's see who it is. Jamie Barnett, welcome. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Jamie? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
There you are.
Oh, I didn't know I could talk into this. I
You-
never get on TikTok.
Hello and welcome.
Hi.
So you have a story for us?
Yes. So me and my mother, Nana Sherry, went
Love her.
went to New Orleans, Louisiana last year spring break.
Uh-huh.
And we love going to haunted places. And so I looked up the Hotel Dauphine. And it is rumored to be haunted.
Yes.
Stayed there, and my mother went to the bathroom, and I'm trying to get the TV on, and it shows the light that it's on, but the screen stayed black. And then shortly after that, my mom comes out of the restroom. She goes, "What'd you need?" I was like, "Huh?" She goes, "You were diggling the doorknob handle." I was like, "No." And then I went to the TV, and then it turned back on. Like, it worked fine, like nothing was ever wrong.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Wow.
later on, when I'm laying in the bed, I swear something was laying next to me. Like, it felt like something dipped down in the bed.
Oh my God.
Yes. And then the next night, we went to a guided cemetery tour. And I took a picture of the cemetery, clear skies, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I guess I had taken 2 pictures.
right.
And I went back in there, the next picture, which is literally like 1 minute later, it was blue and foggy.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's
So, yeah,
crazy.
Very memorable.
That is crazy. I have heard of that hotel.
Yes, it was really awesome.
Do you still have the photographs?
I do.
Oh my goodness. You're going to have to send them to me. We want to see those.
Okay, let's see if I can. How do you do the pictures on here?
I don't know if you're able to do it on the live,
Okay.
but we will figure out some way. We need to, so we have a Discord, and what I would like for my night dwellers to start doing is posting their paranormal photographs so that we can see these places that you visit. That's incredible.
Yes, I love showing the people the pictures because I mean it's so completely different. It's like, wait a minute, where'd that come from?
Right, right. I've heard that city is so beyond haunted.
Yes, we even went to the gravesite of Marie Laveau.
No, you did not.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
told that story back a few months ago, I believe. Oh my goodness, she was something else.
Yes.
Wow. Well, what I'd like for you to do, because we all want to see it, if you are willing to join the Discord, you can go in there and post those photographs, and I can't wait to see them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I've got to tell more stories about New Orleans and just Louisiana in general. It is just crazy how haunted that this place is. Well, that was Jamie, and that is Nana Sherry's daughter, and it is a delight to have her here. So see, it's not that hard to come in and say hi. You are not in judgmental company. This is the most wonderful community. We are warm and welcoming and inviting, and it's interactive, and you can just come in for just a couple hours-ish a night and just hang out and listen to scary stories and talk about it with your other night dweller family. Perfect, right? All right, I'll be keeping an eye out for the box. Thank you again, Jamie. It gave me chills. In 1871, a superintendent of lighthouse construction, Hezekiah Pitty, arrived from Cape Elizabeth, Maine, with his beloved family to oversee the construction of the new St. Augustine Lighthouse. And with him came his wife, Mary, and their precious children, Mary Adelaide, Eliza, Edward, and little Carrie. Picture this family, night dwellers, relocating from the cold gray shores of Maine to the sunny paradise of Florida. For the Pitty children, this massive construction project wasn't a job site. No, this was the ultimate playground. They ran through the partially built tower, playing hide and seek among the massive stone blocks, their laughter echoing off the Coquina walls. Can you hear their laughter? Chasing each other, playing hide and seek. But construction sites are dangerous places, especially for children. And the St. Augustine Lighthouse construction was more perilous than most. There was a railway cart that moved supplies from ships docked at Salt Run to the building site. A mechanical beast of iron and wood that rumbled back and forth along its tracks like a hungry predator. And the children. Oh, the sweet, innocent, Pitty children. They turned even this into a game. Come on! Little Eliza would call down to her siblings and the workers' children. Let's ride the cart down to the water! It's so much fun! Just as any child would do. The Pitty children turned the construction site into a playground, inviting the children of the workers into their fun. It seemed harmless enough, thought Mary. Her kids were hardy and strong, and she could see them. She could keep an eye on them as she was preparing lunch. What could go wrong with children playing on a simple supply cart? What indeed? But on July the 10th, 1873, as the summer sun beat down mercilessly on Anastasia Island, something went terribly, horribly wrong. The cart, loaded with children's laughter and innocent joy, began its usual journey toward the Atlantic. But this time, something was different. This time, the cart didn't stop where it was supposed to. The railway cart moved the supplies from supply ships docked at Salt Run to the building site. And on July the 10th, 1873, the cart somehow broke loose and ended up in the ocean. Picture this scene, night dwellers. Children's laughter suddenly turning to screams of terror as the heavy iron cart picked up speed, racing toward the dark waters of the Atlantic. Little hands grasping desperately at their sides, small voices crying out for their parents as the cart careened out of control. When the cart hit the water, the children were trapped until a worker was able to lift the cart, and it was heavy. The two youngest children, Edward and Carrie Pitty, survived. But for three precious souls, it was too late. The two oldest, Eliza and Mary, drowned. There was a third girl on the cart, a worker's daughter, and no one knows what her name was. She was African American, but her name was not shared because at that time, and this is infuriating, they did not see any significance mentioning her due to the color of her skin. This girl was 10 years old. The three children died that day. Night dwellers. Three innocent souls torn from this world in a moment of mechanical malice. And as their bodies were pulled from the dark waters, as their parents wept over their lifeless forms, something changed in the lighthouse. The construction continued. They wanted to stop the project. His wife begged him, "Please don't continue to do this. Let's just go back to Maine where we were. We've got 2 of our remaining children. Let's just go back. I can't do that. They're here. They're here, Mary. Her husband began to report strange sounds echoing through the partially built tower. Children's laughter, he said. Mary herself began to hear the sound of small feet running up and down the stairs that were not yet fully completed. Her husband was going insane with the loss of his children. He woke her up one night. Mary, come here. They're here. They're going to see us. Mary looked at her husband with sadness. There's no one there. There is. Come here. Look. Do you see him? The blade in the sand. The lighthouse was still under construction, but apparently the dead had already moved in. Chapter 3, The Keeper Who Couldn't Let Go. When a man's love for his children becomes an obsession, what happens when death tries to force his retirement? By 1875, the St. Augustine Lighthouse stood complete, lovely. A magnificent tower rising 165 feet above the Atlantic. Its Fresnel lens casting a beacon that could be seen from miles. But manning this isolated outpost required a special kind of person. Someone willing to dedicate their entire existence to keeping the light burning. Enter William Hahn, a man whose story reads like a testament to duty and devotion. This wasn't just any lighthouse keeper, night dwellers. William Hahn enlisted in the army in 1854 at the age of 19. As a private, he was sent to Fort Moultrie and then transferred to Fort Sumter, where he witnessed the Confederate bombardment that began the Civil War. Hahn served in the Battle of Gettysburg and the Battle of Rappahannock Station. This man had unfortunately seen death up close numerous times. He had smelled gunpowder and blood, had watched friends die in his arms. After the war, when the opening became available, he served as lighthouse keeper in Charleston, South Carolina, from October 1871 to 75, before being transferred to St. Augustine. But here's what makes William Hahn's story so terrifying, my night dwellers. He loved his job with an intensity that bordered on obsession. While stationed in Charleston, he met a young woman from Maine named Kate Skillen. Her father was James, an ordnance sergeant at Castle Pinckney in Charleston Harbor. Kate, my darling, William would write in his letters. I found my calling in these lighthouse beams. Each night I stand watch over souls, traveling the dark waters, and I know I'm doing God's work. William became the principal keeper of St. Augustine Lighthouse on Anastasia Island, where he served with unwavering dedication for 14 years. 14 years of climbing those 219 steps every single night. 14 years of tending the light that meant more to him than his own life. But in 1889, death came calling for William Harn. He died of consumption on May the 31st. His lungs finally giving out after years of breathing the salt air and the lamp oil fumes. As he lay dying in the keeper's quarters, his final words were a desperate plea. The light. Someone must tend the light. Promise me. He begged his wife. Promise me that the ships will find their way home. They buried William Harn in St. Augustine, but they couldn't bury his devotion. Within weeks of his passing, the new lighthouse keeper began reporting strange incidents. The light would be tended when he arrived for his shift. The lens polished to perfection. The oil reservoirs filled. But he had done none of the work. There was a log that was found on this lighthouse keeper. One entry said, "I can hear him," the replacement keeper wrote in his official log. Heavy footsteps climbing the stairs at midnight. Every midnight like clockwork. When I investigate, there's no one there. But the light burns brighter on those nights, as if someone with far more experience than I is tending it. Yes, someone was. Lighthouse Stay claimed that William Harn seems to have kept his vow, even to this day. His spirit is sometimes spotted at night, wandering the grounds and walking around the property, as if still safeguarding the beacon that once held his heart. Another brave soul has entered. Let's see who we have. Gracie. Hello, Gracie.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I am good. Do you have a scary story to share?
Yeah, so this was about 5 years ago. I went on vacation with my boyfriend at the time to Barnstable, Massachusetts, which is in Cape Cod.
Oh.
And there was one day where we didn't know what to do, and I looked up like stuff to do. Barnstable is a historic town, so they had a ghost tour, and I was like, let's do this, why not? And it was a small group, so we met at night. It was me and my boyfriend boyfriend and this other girl and her brother and their cousin, so just 5 people.
Right.
We go to a few different places, but there's this one place. It was a big white house. It looks like a normal house. A big giant porch. The front door is all the way to the left, and there's big windows on the whole front of the house. And this house
Sounds
is owned by
lovely.
the city. It's very, very pretty.
Sounds lovely.
So back, I think it was like the late 1800s, early 1900s, a family lived there. A little boy named Charlie lived there. He was around 10 years old. Charlie Hedge was his name. And as soon as you open the front door, this is what the tour guide said, is the staircase was right there.
Mm-hmm.
One day he was playing on the stairs or something like that, and a board came down and unfortunately impaled him right in front of the door. And
oh my gosh.
yeah, it's very sad. And so the ghost of Charlie is still seen every single day. The cops get called to that house every single day, and they have to respond because, you know, it's a 911 call, but
Right.
they go there knowing that they're not going to find anybody because this house is owned by the city. It is vacant.
Yeah.
Nobody's allowed in it. So he said, sometimes people see a little boy in the window, or they'll hear a knock on the door.
Oh my God, that is so chilling.
Right. So he said to us, he was like, does one of you want to go up and knock on the door? And one of you look in the window, and the other girl that was in the group, she said, sure, I'll do it. And her brother went up to look in the window. And they went up and she knocked and nothing happened. And then I guess I was sitting there, I was looking kind of bored, I guess, because he looks at me and he goes, do you want to try? And I'm like, sure, why not? Nothing happened, why not? So I go up there and my boyfriend looks in the window and I pound on the door 3 times and I yelled, Charlie, like so loud. And I put my ear to the door, and the very last thing I was expecting was the 3 loudest knocks of my life right in my ear. It was so loud, I could feel the door, like the vibration.
My goodness.
And then there was a little giggle, and I screamed. I yelled, holy shit.
I bet you did.
I
Oh my
jumped off the
gosh.
front porch.
Oh,
And
wow.
I nearly ran right into the road.
I
tour
bet.
guide, he grabbed my shoulders. He was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, something just knocked
On the
I
door,
was like,
yeah.
Nobody's in that house. And he's like, nobody is allowed in that house. Nobody has keys to that house. I'm like, I'm telling you, somebody has to be in that house.
Charlie.
Like, there's no way. And so he's like, everybody go around, check in all of the windows around the house. We could see nobody in there. And then my boyfriend, who was at the other side of the porch, he was like, those knocks were so loud, I heard them from all the way on the other side of the porch.
Oh, wow.
And to this day,
That's
5 years later, I
chilling.
still remember my hands were shaking from just like adrenaline. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
And I remember like when we were leaving the house, my boyfriend said, after I heard those knocks, I saw a little flash of something. And I was like, did you hear the giggle? He's like, no, I didn't hear a giggle. I was like, I heard a giggle, and that was pretty freaking creepy too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the tour guide that was helping, like the main tour guide, she kind of came up to me because she saw I was a little shaken up and I was very confused, and she was like, it's just like, it's okay. She's like, he's not gonna, Charlie's a sweet spirit. He's innocent. He's not gonna follow you. He's gonna stay right there.
Wow.
But he showed you he's there. And I was like, yep, he certainly did.
That is so cool. So what is the name of this house again?
I don't think it has a name, but it's on Main Street in
Okay.
Barnstable, Massachusetts. And
I've got to look it up.
Yeah, the little boy's name is Charlie Hedge.
Charlie Hedge. Charlie
Yes.
Hedge. Okay. Okay. What a wonderful experience. Oh my goodness.
It was so cool. I'll definitely never forget it.
Something you'll never forget. Absolutely. When you have one of those paranormal experiences, one of those encounters, it's something that is forever etched in your mind. You cannot forget it. Just so cool. Oh my goodness.
Because I really went up there thinking nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
And just the 3 loudest knocks right in my ear. So.
Let me ask you this. Were you a skeptic before this happened, or did you already believe?
I've always been a believer, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm definitely skeptical, especially of like the ghost horror stuff, thinking they can set up stuff to.
Yeah, they can be rigged and everything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I went up there and I was like, nothing's gonna happen. And then I wasn't really convinced that there wasn't anybody in the house, but he was like, it is true, absolutely nobody has keys to that house, including him.
Oh, so. Wow. I have those cold chills.
I get the chills every time I think about it.
Absolutely, Gracie. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that experience.
Yeah, thank you for having me up here.
Yes, I love seeing you in the live. Thank you so much. And if you have any more to tell, come on in.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, everyone. That we are hearing some really good stories tonight. The hotel in New Orleans, now this little boy who tragically died and still haunting the property. Wow. All right, we have another one. Let me go in and see who we've got. Crystal Lunsford. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I have a really scary story that happened to me last night.
Tell us.
Well, about around 1:30 a.m. my time.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking my dog out, and it was dark, and I spotted something, and I don't know what it was, but it looked like it was coming closer to me.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, no, and I freaking screamed so loud, and I had a flashlight on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I shined the flashlight there. Somebody was wearing all black with a white mask.
What?
Yes, and a hood, black hood.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
Oh
And
my
my
goodness.
dog started barking at it. And the person goes, if your dog does not shut up, I'm going to pew it.
Wow.
And I'm like, I told him, I said, if you don't get out of my yard, I'm going to call the pews.
Right.
And I went to grab my dog. I freaking ran in. I locked the screen door. I locked my door and ran into my room. And I texted my mom. I said, hey, Mom, be careful.
That's
She was
terrifying. Yeah.
I'm like, why?
I would have been freaking out. So.
Yeah. But the thing is, I had my kids with me.
Right.
Especially my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old. But they're still little. And my 3-year-old was trying to come outside with me, and I'm like, no, you go back inside. And, it was it was terrifying, but hopefully this will not happen tonight. But believe me,
I hope so. I hope you do not see that creature again, whatever it was.
I don't know what it was. But
Oh
all
my
I know, he
goodness.
had black on, a black mask, a black hoodie, and he was skinny. And I said, I think that's a skinwalker.
I was going to say that. Did you think that it was some type of a skinwalker or, you know, something like that?
Because I think, because I was hearing noises outside my bedroom window. And I mean, I have my curtains closed, but I have blinds, and my curtains are see-through.
Oh,
So it's just like, that's why I have a metal bat and a taser.
for sure.
And I'm like, okay. And my mom said, it's probably a skinwalker. Like, probably. I mean, it's.
That's terrifying.
Yes. And I was going to get on last night, but I had to take my 2-year-old to the hospital. She had 3 or 4 seizures, and I had to take her to the emergency room.
Oh no, is she all right?
Now she is. Her daddy has her, but oh yeah, I was going to tell you while we're on here. When
Yes.
I'm sometimes on my own live, if you want to, you can come on my live if you want.
Well,
But
thank
I
you for
was
the
on live.
invite. Absolutely. When do you normally come on?
I went on earlier, but I had to get off to take care of some things. But I'm thinking about getting on here after a while after my phone charges.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I will definitely be on the lookout for that.
Yes, and I want you to, and if you don't, the people in the comments, if you guys don't know what a skinwalker is, look it up, and it will tell you what it is. It's a really very creepy, a really creepy creature
Very.
that scared the crap out of me.
I don't blame you a bit for being scared. Be on guard tonight.
I know, and I almost peed my pants.
Oh no. I cannot blame you one bit. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Yeah, and next time we do the all sharing stories, just let me know, and I'll let you know. I will be safe. I'll let you know when I'm about to go back on live, but I'll be down in the comments.
All right. I will talk to you soon.
Alrighty then.
All right. Have a good one. Be
You too,
safe.
bye-bye. I'm gonna get out of here.
I believe there should be, I've never been on that end, but I believe it should have something about, there you go. You figured it out. Good job. All right. Does anyone else want to come in right now? Just let me know. Oh, I like that, Jared. You call them flesh pedestrians. Crystal, thank you for sharing that. Wow, we've had some great stories so far. And are you enjoying the story of the St. Augustine Lighthouse? Let me know in the comments. Back to William. But William wasn't alone in the eternal vigil. Night dwellers. The lighthouse was collecting souls like a supernatural magnet, if you would. And each new death only made the hauntings stronger, more desperate, more hungry for human contact. The dead were building an army in that tower, and their ranks were about to grow. Chapter 4, The Cigar Smoking Centennial. Here's a question. What happens when a man's earthly pleasures become his eternal torment? Good question. The screen is freezing. For everyone, okay. So if someone will just document that we had over 120K likes, I'm going to stop the live and start it back up. Okay? How is it in YouTube? Welcome back in. Sorry that I had to do that, X. Oops. Is it better? All better? Okay, good. Let's give it a few minutes so that the night dwellers can come back in. We have been bombarded with thunderstorms this evening. Terrible ones. Like really bad. Hey, Tigger. Tigger, did you not have a paranormal experience that you wanted to share last week? I thought it was you that I saw in the... Hey, Magic Moon, how are you doing? I thought so. Gracie, I so enjoyed your story. That is chilling, and I am going to look it up after this live is over. Absolutely, Magic. Now, I do want to just make an announcement. So, I haven't had a vacation in over 2 years, and I'm due for one. So, my family and I are going on a much deserved extended vacation starting tomorrow. So I am going to be off the grid from what is hold on, Let me see. So I will be off the grid from June the 26th till July the 6th. I will come back live July the 7th. It's just a lot of things that we are celebrating in this particular time. One being our anniversary. So we will be celebrating that, and I just need a break, a vacation away. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. I am not disappearing. I will be back. I have so many different ideas that I want to implement, and I thank you all so much for your support. We haven't quite been going for a year yet, and already the growth and the support is just overwhelming. In just the past, not even a month, we have gained over 5,000 followers. And my next goal is to hit 100K. And if we continue the way that we are, we will be there very, very soon. So thank you so much. So I'll announce it again. I am going on a much needed vacation. When I was sick last week, that wasn't vacation. I was still working, still had to keep the ball rolling. The only reason that I wasn't doing the live is because I sounded like I had 1,000 bumblebees up my nose. So, but I will be gone from June the 26th, starting tomorrow, to July the 6th. I will be back live July the 7th. I will post content. There just won't be lives. So I just wanted everyone to know that we will be posting a video that my wonderful night watcher Kimmy made, and she'll be posting that as well. I'm going to miss you terribly, but I'm going to come back stronger than ever. So, thank you, Lulu. I'm so glad you do, Lisa Brown. Thank you, Nana Sherry. Thank you, Just Boo. I'm so glad you love them. I will miss you all like crazy. I've had some people that I shared it with today, and they're like, what am I gonna do? You're gonna survive. You'll be able to make it. I definitely will. Lisa Brown, so glad that you found me. Kathy, I'm going on vacation from tomorrow, June the 26th, till July the 6th. I will be back on that Monday, July the 7th. So put that on your calendars. That's what someone was saying. I'm gonna have to watch, well, at least I have YouTube. You do have YouTube, and I made every story available, every live. This would be a good time for you, if you like vampires, to go in and catch up on Blood in the Snow. There's a lot of content there now, and I will be making content on vacation. Just maybe some little mini stories, perhaps. There you go. Blood in the Snow is a vampire novel, dark vampire romance novel that I actually wrote live. How long did the story go on? I think it was for three and a half months, I think. So this would be a good time. Hey, Casper, we are going to Florida. Believe it or not, I'm going to visit the St. Augustine Lighthouse. I do, Turtle Woman. Yes, I do. If my lovely night watchers could please post and pin that so that everyone can go in and find YouTube, that will keep you busy. I forget how many videos I've got in there now. It's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, okay, Amy. There we go. But I love you all. Yes, Legend of the 80s. We will be traveling through Georgia. So that is good. All right. Who is... I saw someone in the box and then they disappeared. Whoever you were, come back. I want to hear your paranormal experience. Magic, come on in, dear. Is everybody able to hear me now? It's not freezing or anything. All right, here we go. Magic Moon. Howdy. Hey, how are you doing?
Damn, yes. Sorry.
This is Magic Moon, everyone. She is just a precious, precious night dweller who has been with us a long time now. And if you, I'm going to shout you out, Magic. If you love music like I do, and you just need a pick-me-up and just a feel-good atmosphere, Magic Moon, follow her. She is
Thank
good.
you so much, friend. I love you. I love you so much, and I hope you have fun on your vacation. I know you will.
Yes, I am so looking forward to it.
So yeah, I'll be like I won't be very long. So long story short, my grandfather, he had Alzheimer's disease,
Oh,
and I was probably like 9 or 10 at the time, and I was very young, so I didn't have like a really like connection with him, like a meaningful relationship with him.
mm-hmm.
But my aunt had a house, and she hired me to, tend to his needs and everything. Unfortunately, he passed away,
I'm sorry.
and my aunt, she told me so many times how many things went missing, and then showed up, like things that were there, like there were like cans of food that wasn't safe food,
Uh-huh.
and like she would look for it, and she'd ask like her husband, she's like, "Where'd you put it? Where'd you put it?" And he's like, "I didn't move anything."
Oh,
And then she'd go
wow.
back down there, and then like she'd see the can of food, one of the can of food, like his favorite can of food, like on the bed, like in the middle of the bed.
Wow. That is so cool.
It's creepy, and it's funny because like my aunt and my mom don't like talking about paranormal stuff. I'm all about yeah, and they just like had so many fun.
Uh-huh.
After my grandfather died, from aneurysm.
Oh no.
So here I am, like fast forward in my in bedroom. I'm just watching TV, right?
Yeah.
And my family is all outside doing a barbecue, whatever. So I'm the only one.
Oh God. Go ahead.
And so I'm sitting on the bed watching TV by myself.
Hey, Magic. Are you near a speaker? Some of the night dwellers can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
It's better.
Yes. Much better.
Awesome. So I was sitting on the bed watching TV, and the bedroom that my grandmother was in, it's I was sitting there, right? So the bedroom that she used to be in was like to my right, basically, and there was a hallway.
Uh-huh.
And I was just watching TV, like nothing big, right?
Right.
And I had seen in the corner of my eye just like a black figure like move down the hall.
Oh my.
And it was so quick
Yeah.
that I froze.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, and then I kind of like got my wits, like, you know, just kind of came back to myself, and then just like came out of the room, like looked in the hallway, like in that room and the other room, and I didn't see anything, and then like I ran back to my family. So that's like probably the biggest, or you know, the most paranormal experience that I've had.
Did it terrify you?
I wouldn't say it terrified me. It was just, it was so random.
Yeah.
And it was so quick that,
Yes.
yeah, so it's crazy, like, but I swear I saw something.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. That's so scary.
But, like, after that, like, you know, my aunt, after, you know, my grandfather and my grandmother died, and they were, my grandfather died in her house. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And then, my grandmother, she didn't pass away in the house, so, but they do have a basement, like a finished basement
Mm-hmm.
with all their furniture.
Right.
And so I used to sit down there and like, nothing weird happened, but you could definitely feel their vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of scares me to this day.
I bet.
It's I don't know, I definitely always had a connection with the other side, so but yeah, my aunt always told me there were so many things after my grandfather died, after my grandmother died. There were so many things disappearing and then showing up, and they don't even like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But I thank you for sharing it with us.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, you're among your folk here.
It's crazy. It's it comforts me, and at the same time, like, it scares me.
Yeah, it's like it comforts you, but it scares you too. I get it. I do. Completely.
But yeah, I just wanted to share that.
So glad you did.
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely.
You are
enjoy
welcome.
your vacation.
Thank
Please
you.
enjoy your vacation.
I am going to enjoy it. And again, huge shout out to Magic Moon. her lives are energetic, and the word that I was looking for is I cannot think of the word. What is the word? Infectious. I love it. Sometimes I just come in there and to be not seen, just to feel the vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To feel the vibe. And she's asked me before when, do you want to come in and speak? And I'm like, no.
It's funny, because you're on like 5 days a week, and honestly, like I've been on TikTok probably 4 years.
Wow.
And I've never done like straight 5 days a week, so I really I give you kudos, because that is not easy.
Thank
And
you.
getting into your costume, doing all the makeup, and then
Yeah,
actually reading the story. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy that you.
most definitely. It is
Yeah.
a lot of energy, for sure.
And
But,
people don't get it. People who don't go live don't get it. They're just like, oh, you're reading a story. No, it's like I'm trying to create this ambiance.
Right, take you to that world. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Magic, tell them when you go live.
Honestly, I pretty much go live Friday, Saturday nights.
Yeah, I've seen you on Saturdays before.
Yeah. Usually it's Friday or Saturday, like just depending, what my plans are. But yeah, I honestly, when I was little, I've always loved music. I've always loved dancing.
It shows. You are a radiant light.
Thank you. And like it's funny because like I've been in dance classes before, but like I feel like the music like just definitely flows through me, and no one has to tell me like how to move. It just does it. It's unexplainable.
I get it. I completely understand.
Yeah. So thank you for promoting me, and I really
You're most welcome. I believe you picked up some followers.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so Bryn's birthday, right, is like the end of
The very last day of July.
Yes. Okay, I want to send you a gift.
Aw, thank you, Magic. Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart.
But you're great. Any update on the merch?
I am approving. There was one thing that I didn't like. It was the tote. It was too small. And I just know me as a woman. I packed my bag full. So I was like, I've got to make sure that these women, that they have a bag that they can put, whatever they need to go work out in, books, whatever. So we are working on a bigger tote.
It's funny because I got a new bag a few months ago, and I was like, why don't you do it? And then 2 months down the road, I'm just like, I can't.
I know, but I am very particular about what I'm going to send out. So there is more merch for me to look at. I've given my approval on a couple of different things, but I'm picky. I don't want you to have something that's going to fall apart the first time that you wear it, if that makes sense. All right. We might have lost Magic. I'm not sure.
I'm still here.
Okay. But thank you so much for coming in. You gained some followers tonight, and follow her. If you like an energetic, fun live, she's the one.
Thank you so much, Bryn. We
You're
love
welcome.
you. Everybody comment.
Love you, love you, love you.
Yes.
Love
Feel it,
you.
Bryn.
I will talk to you soon.
Bye. Enjoy
Bye.
your vacay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Another creepy story. Another one. Here we go. Ah, Nana Sherry. Hello, lady.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you? I love you in my life.
Oh, well, thank you. I love your life.
Awesome.
So I was telling everybody I have a lot of stories, but they're not scary. I've been really lucky that I've met with good spirits.
Well, go ahead. We love good spirits.
So we moved to a two-story home,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on across the street from a cemetery.
Okay.
And I can't. I'm a housewife, and I do a lot of cooking, and I was cleaning, raising my kids, and sometimes their kids as well. So we always had a big, huge household. But late at night, I would go down, and I'm making sure everything is perfect in the house. That we're gonna wake up to a clean house,
Uh-huh.
and I always see out of the corner of my eye something. I mean, it's always just a flash or whatever. And I always got the feeling that it was somebody who watched over me.
Oh.
And I really felt good raising all of my kids there and everything.
Yeah.
Later on, I found out that the lady who owned the house before had died in the house, and she was buried across the street.
Oh, wow.
And so it always made me feel like she was there, and she helped me raise all of my kids and some of my grandkids as well.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Well, thank you. So anyway, move forward. My husband passed away 11, almost 12 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We're making through it. And but he was always the one that would play with the kids and just tease them and play with them and hold them. And when he passed, it really was a burden to me because I went through, all my grandkids weren't born yet.
Right.
I've had a couple born afterward, and I've had 2 great-grandkids born recently. And-
Congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. So, what's the cool part is all of them know Papa. That's what they called him. He was a police officer, but he was a grandfather. So it was Papa.
Oh, I love that.
So, anyway, they would just be looking at nothing and playing with their hands. Like he always used to put his finger in their ears or whatever, and they would giggle and laugh. And they'd go, Papa, Papa, and point at
Mhm.
air, basically. And
Yeah.
so that's another, and I would smell his cologne at weird times. And so I figured he's still with us.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely.
So, well, I won't stay on because I know there's other people just dying to hop on.
That was lovely, though, Nana Sherry. Thank you for sharing that.
Anytime.
All right. Love you.
Love your lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was so sweet. Oh my goodness. I love that. You know, this is so cool. Just hearing your experiences. Oh, we got another one. Let's see. A Marine's daughter. Click again. Hello there.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I
Good.
had a slight intervention to tell you about. It
Okay.
was paranormal to me.
Definitely.
And what it pertains to water. Back in my younger days, I drank a lot. I
Mhm.
mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we live around the coast, southern Texas, and there's a little turnaround. We're surrounded by ocean. And
Okay.
I was driving around the turnaround, and I was confused, of course, because I wasn't in not the right state of mind. And I started getting frustrated because I couldn't remember how to get off of it, which sounds
Right.
really silly.
Right.
But I start going faster and faster, and I'm going head on towards the water. And all of a sudden, my car hits the curb, it jumps straight up in the air, it turns, and it lands. And I'm on the sand.
Oh my gosh.
Then I get out of the car, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck has just happened. And a policeman comes up. Now he has no lights on. He has no badge on his uniform. And he just says to me in a very low monotone tone, "What happened?" And I told him I was scared I was going to go to jail. So I was telling him that I think my tire blew out. That's what I
Oh.
could think of.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me if I needed a ride somewhere. I said, sure, I really do, because I needed to get to North Beach over the bridge where someone could pick me up.
Right.
So I get in his police car, there's no radio playing. He doesn't say anything to me except, where are we going? And so I tell him. And he drives me all the way to North Beach to a little restaurant. Well, I get out of the car and I turn to tell him thank you, and he's gone. There's nobody there. So I went inside the
What?
restaurant. Yes.
Ooh,
He was
I
just
just got cold
scared.
chills.
And I freaked out. And I went in the restaurant and saw a man looking at me through the glass door. And I asked him, sir, did you just see a policeman drop me off? And he said, all I saw was you walking up.
No.
I feel like maybe my angel, this isn't the first time something like this, it's the second time. But back in those days, I wasn't very good to myself. And I
Something
feel
was
like
protecting
something was
you.
protecting me. Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, I go the next day to go get my car out of impound because they towed it where it was sitting. And the man tells me, oh, that was your car down there. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, that's funny because every car I pull out of there is upside down in the water. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Talk about chills
Ooh.
and scared.
Full body chills right now.
Yeah, I knew something had intervened that night for me. And I was so grateful to have my life.
Wow. A Marine's daughter. What a telling. What a story. Oh my
Thank you.
goodness.
I wanted to tell it. It was
I'm so
scary.
glad you did. That is supernatural.
Yes.
That is, I put that in the category of supernatural. That was something that, oh my gosh, I can't even, oh my gosh.
My life got saved that night for one reason or
For one
another.
reason, you were supposed to be here.
Yes, and there's many times that I shouldn't have been.
Yeah. That, I'm sorry, that is full body chills right there. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Absolutely. I think it was your guardian angel. Or,
That's
you
what I
know,
think.
yeah, definitely supernatural. Did that give you all chills like it did me? Incredible.
Thank you,
Absolutely
guys.
incredible. A Marine's daughter, you are a treasure. And
Thank you.
I
So
love
are
having you on the show.
You all are.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
All
You have a
right.
good night. Enjoy your vacation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
That. Oh my goodness! These stories tonight, everyone, are just incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is what I had always pictured, what I had always imagined this live being. You know, a place where you could come and share your stories, your experiences. And I am so glad that you chose to show and to share them here. All of you. Wow, incredible. Is there anyone else that wants to come in before I start reading again? So glad. So glad. I'm telling you, there was no other community experience like this on TikTok. I have had numerous people to tell me that. You know, I've never seen a live like that. We are a community, we are a family. We're not just someone who comes together, you know, 5 days a week and listens to a story. We interact and relationships are formed. Love is formed. Friendships are formed. And that's what makes this live extremely special. Extremely. All right, I don't see anyone in the box, so I am going to go ahead. Jamie Barnett, love you. So glad you're here. Absolutely. James Swartz, Big Brother Jimmy, how are you doing, my love? All right, I am going to go ahead and get back into the St. Augustine story until I see someone come in the box. Not all the spirits that haunt the St. Augustine Lighthouse died in tragedy. Some lived full, rich lives and simply refused to accept that their watch had ended. We've had accounts tonight of those situations where they were taken from us, but they want to be here, they want to see us, they want to be with us. Enter Peter Rasmussen, a man whose ghost has become so famous that visitors specifically request encounters with him. That's right. Peter was one of the lighthouse's first keepers. A man known for his meticulous eye and watchful manner of maintaining the lighthouse. But Peter, well, he had refined taste. He appreciated the finer things in life. Good food, good wine, me too. Quality cigars and the simple pleasure of watching ships navigate safely through treacherous waters. Picture Peter in life, standing at the top of the lighthouse each evening, a premium Cuban cigar between his lips, the smoke curling around him as he polished the massive Fresnel lens. He took pride in his work, but he also took pleasure in it. The lighthouse wasn't just his job, it was his kingdom. And he ruled it with the malevolent authority of a man who truly loved what he did. But if there was one thing that Peter loved more than any of these other luxuries, it was his cigars. Premium tobacco, hand-rolled and aged to perfection. The aroma would fill the lamp room, mixing with the scent of well oil and salt air to create an atmosphere that was uniquely his own. I can smell it. I can smell the tobacco. Peter's devotion to the lighthouse was matched only by his devotion to his wife, who lived with him in the keeper quarters. They were inseparable, these two, spending their evenings in domestic bliss, while the lighthouse being swept across the dark Atlantic. The tragedy struck when Peter's beloved wife died at the lighthouse. The official records don't specify the cause. Perhaps illness, perhaps accident, perhaps simply the harsh realities of 19th century life. But when she passed, it shattered Peter's world, leaving him alone in the tower with only his cigars and duties for comfort. When Peter finally passed away, not at the lighthouse, but elsewhere, those who knew him assumed his story had ended. They were wrong. It seems that his desire for the finer things continued into the next life. For if you were to visit the St. Augustine Lighthouse and the lighthouse keeper's quarters, you might begin to wonder. I wonder if when I enter this lighthouse and climb all those steps, will I detect the scent of cigar smoke as hundreds of other people have? It's not from a mischievous docent, it's Mr. Rasmussen, and he is still watching over his beloved lighthouse. Visitors report the unmistakable aroma of premium tobacco drifting through rooms where smoking has been prohibited for decades. The scent is strongest in the lamp room at the top of the tower, where Peter once stood guard each night. But it's not just the smell that confirms his presence. Have any of you ever been to the St. Augustine Lighthouse? Have you experienced anything paranormal? There is a too-tall shadow figure that has been spotted in the upper levels of the lighthouse, always accompanied by the scent of cigars. Doors open and close without explanation. Objects move on their own, always with the careful precision of someone who spent years maintaining delicate equipment. But the most heartbreaking aspect of Peter's haunting is what paranormal investigators have discovered. He's not just tending the lighthouse anymore. No, night dwellers, he's searching, walking through the keeper's quarters, calling out in a voice only the dead can hear. My love, I'm here. Can you come and see me? He calls out to his wife. Even though he passed away elsewhere, Peter's spirit is still felt on the lighthouse grounds, where they say he is looking for his beloved. That's sad. For over a century, Peter Rasmussen has been searching the lighthouse for his beloved wife, refusing to abandon his post until he finds her. Every night, he climbs those 219 steps, cigar in hand, hope in his spectral heart. But what he doesn't know, what no one has told him, is that she's been waiting for him in the darkness all along. Chapter 5, The Keeper Who Fell to the Earth. Here's a question, and this is a deep one. When death comes suddenly and violently, does the soul have time to understand what happened? Does it? Heights, my night dwellers. That's what unalived Joseph Andrew, standing 165 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, painting the exterior of the St. Augustine Lighthouse on what should have been just another routine maintenance day in 1859. Joseph was the lighthouse keeper from 1854 to 1859. He was also a devoted family man who took meticulous care of the tower. That was his responsibility. All of these lighthouse keepers took their job very seriously. Like all keepers, he understood that maintaining the lighthouse wasn't just about keeping the light burning. It was about preserving every inch of the structure that sailors depended on for their lives. The lighthouse needed regular painting to protect it from the corrosive salt air of the Atlantic. It's death to lighthouses. So on that fateful day, Joseph rigged his scaffolding, gathered his paint and his brushes, and began the dangerous work of painting the exterior of the tower. But something went wrong. Terribly, catastrophically wrong. Joseph Andrew met a tragic end when he fell from the tower while painting it. The scaffolding failed. In one horrifying moment, Joseph plummeted 165 feet toward the unforgiving ground below. Picture it, night dwellers, the sudden snap of rope, the stomach-dropping sensation of falling, the rush of wind, and the growing realization that these were the final seconds of his life. Joseph Andrew had time to understand exactly what was happening to him as he fell. Time to think of his wife, his children, the duties that he would never finish. Those who heard the screams of a man falling to his death can certainly attest to the chilling nature of such a spectacle. They say the sound echoed across Anastasia Island for what felt like an eternity. A human voice raised in terror and anguish, then suddenly, horribly silent. But here's what makes Joseph's death even more tragic. He never got the chance to say goodbye. Never got to complete his final task. Never got to ensure that the lighthouse he loved so dearly would continue to function without him. Apparitions are often tied to places when they met sudden death. Is Joseph Andrew still in the lighthouse, trying to sort out why he was taken from this earth so unexpectedly? Are we experiencing lagging again? Okay, alright, I'm gonna end it and then I'll come right back in. La 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 la. Welcome back. Welcome back in. It's perfectly fine, Julia. Want y'all to have a pleasant experience, not a lagging one. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get y'all back in here. This is a good story. The St. Augustine Lighthouse. I knew that it was rumored to be haunted, but I had no idea that all these spirits were there. You couldn't get back in? Oh no. Is it better now? Waiting for everyone to come back in so we can finish the story. Yes, so I had to change it. I had to close the live, end it, and I had to come back in. How is it over in YouTube? Let me check. Hey, Mary. Sounds like you're having fun over there, Justin. A lot of followers can't get back in. Oh no. What in the world? I'm not exactly sure. How is it behaving now? Is it freezing? No, I don't think that it's storming now. I don't believe. All is good? Okay. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Harper's Happenings. Okay, good. I mean, it could be, I haven't heard any more thunder, but it could be raining, so. All right. All good. We are back. Hey, don't judge me, love. All right, we are going to go back in now. Joseph's spirit never left and is often seen looking out from the top of the lighthouse. His presence at the lighthouse could be explained by the fact that he fell to his death while painting the outside of the tower. Visitors climbing the 219 steps to the top of the lighthouse report seeing a man in period clothing standing at the windows, gazing out over the Atlantic as if still on duty. These men loved this lighthouse. But when they turned to get a better look at him, you guessed it, he vanishes. His spirit is said to linger in the upper levels of the lighthouse, occasionally making his presence known by opening doors or moving objects. But the most disturbing reports come from maintenance workers who find their equipment moved overnight, positioned exactly where Joseph would have placed it if he were still alive and still trying to complete his final paint job. You see, Night Dwellers, Joseph Andrew doesn't understand that he's dead. In his mind, he's still working, still trying to finish painting the lighthouse. He's been at it over 160 years now, and he's nowhere near done. Every time that someone climbs to the top of the lighthouse, they risk encountering a man who fell to his death while doing the exact same thing they're doing. A man who might be just confused enough, just desperate enough to try to take someone else with him on his eternal plunge toward the ground. After all, misery loves company. And Joseph Andrew has been miserable for a very, very long time. Chapter 6, The Widow's Burden. Question: when a woman loses everything, how far will she go to honor her husband's memory? When Joseph Andrew fell to his death in 1859, he left behind more than just unfinished paintwork. My Night Dwellers, he left behind a wife. Maria de los Dolores Mestre What a lovely name, whose life was shattered in the seconds it took for her husband to plummet from the lighthouse tower. But Maria wasn't just any 19th century widow. She was a woman of extraordinary strength and determination, qualities that would soon make her one of the most remarkable figures in lighthouse history, and yet one of its most tormented spirits. One morning, Maria woke up to pounding on the lighthouse door. Ma'am, can we talk to you for a few minutes? About what? Well, we just wanted you to know that we are looking for another replacement for your husband. We're sorry for your loss. We really are. You're asking me to leave. I will not abandon Joseph's work, she declared to the lighthouse authorities, who came to offer their condolences and discuss finding a replacement keeper. Well, we'll give you time to get out. I'm not going anywhere. This lighthouse was his life, his pride, his sacred duty. I will not let it fall into darkness. So what are you saying, ma'am? I'm saying that I'm staying. You're gonna look after the lighthouse? I have been up those stairs as much as my husband has been. I can do the job. And so, Maria de los Dolores Mestre took over as keeper after her husband. This had never been done. But she did after Joseph died, serving from 1859 to 1862. And for 3 years, this grieving widow, clothed in black, climbed those 219 steps every single night, tending the light that had cost her husband's life. Wow. But I want you to imagine the psychological toll, night dwellers. Every night, Maria had to climb past the exact spot where Joseph had rigged his fatal scaffolding. Every night, she had to look out from the very windows where he had worked his final day on earth. Every night, she had to perform the duties that he would never complete. The other lighthouse keepers from nearby stations began to whisper about Maria. The woman's gone insane. She talks to herself all the time. They said she talked to herself as she worked, carrying on conversations with someone who wasn't there. One woman who had went to visit her and take her some biscuits said that she heard Maria talking just as clear as day on the steps. I can assure you that I can do the job just as good as you did. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean that I'm not capable. Now go on somewhere. They said that she would set 2 places for dinner. even though she lived alone in the keeper's quarters. Other people said they heard her say, "Joseph, the lamp oil is running low again." She would murmur as she climbed the stairs, "I've already ordered more, but you know how long deliveries take." "Don't worry, my love. I won't let your light go out." But grief can drive a person to the edge of madness, and Maria was balanced precariously on the edge. As the months passed, the boundary between reality and longing began to blur for her. One night in 1862, during a particularly violent storm, Maria was found at the top of the lighthouse, standing dangerously close to the railing where Joseph had fallen. She was calling out into the wind, her voice barely audible above the howling gale. "Joseph, Joseph, please come back to me. I can't do this alone anymore. Please, my love, come back to me." The authorities removed Maria from her position shortly after that incident, but the damage was already done. Her grief had become so intense, so all-consuming, that it torn a hole between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. Maria passed years later, far from the lighthouse. She would cry because she was no longer there. She was no longer with her beloved Joseph. But her spirit returned to the place where she had loved, lost, and nearly lost her sanity. Visitors report seeing a woman in black standing in the lamp room, her hands pressed against the windows, as if watching for someone who will never come. And sometimes on nights when the wind is particularly strong, people climbing the lighthouse stairs can hear two voices echoing from the top of the tower. A man and a woman calling to each other across the void between life and death, finally reunited in their eternal vigil over the sea. Oh, that is so beautiful. But reunion doesn't always bring peace, night dwellers. Sometimes it only makes the haunting stronger. Chapter 7, The Lighthouse the Ghost Hunters Fear. Question: what happens when professional paranormal investigators encounter something beyond their experience and training? By the 21st century, the St. Augustine Lighthouse had built such a reputation for supernatural activity that it attracted the attention of the most paranormal investigation teams in the world. Ghost hunters from the Sci-Fi Channel. This wasn't some amateur ghost hunt with teenagers and flashlights. Jason Halls and Grant Wilson brought state-of-the-art equipment, decades of experience between the two of them, and the kind of skeptical scientific approach that had debunked hundreds of alleged hauntings. But the St. Augustine Lighthouse, Night Dwellers was different. Shows like Ghost Hunters picked up on the supernatural presence immediately, capturing what appeared to be a shadow figure looking down over the staircase railing. With no crew traversing the steps above, the spine-tingling imagery lends credence to one of the lighthouse's haunting tales. The TAPS team arrived expecting to either debunk the lighthouse legends or find minor evidence of residual hauntings. What they discovered instead was evidence of intelligent, interactive, supernatural entities that defied every conventional explanation. Paul Winglowski, Director of Education at the Lighthouse, shared the team's initial briefing. We have reports of people hearing footsteps running up and down stairs, and the voice of a 12-year-old girl calling out. There's also the story of a man who apparently unalived himself on the front porch. But it was what happened during the investigation that truly terrified even these hardened paranormal professionals. What was it? Let's see. That night, Jason, Grant, Dustin, and Brian all heard a woman's voice say, "Help me." Clear as day, recorded on multiple devices with no possible natural explanation. Help me. But the voice was just the beginning. Jason and Grant heard voices in conversation, saw something block a window, spied a shadow floating near the lights, and noticed a figure leaning over a railing near them. When they ran up the stairs to investigate, they found nothing. They also showed him video of Jason and Grant chasing something that climbed 2 flights of stairs in 2 seconds, then looked back at them over the railing. 2 flights of stairs in 2 seconds. What in the world? Think about that, Night Dwellers. Something with enough intelligence to turn and look back at its pursuers, but enough supernatural speed to climb 2 flights of stairs faster than any human could run up a single flight. Brian and Dustin saw something move across a window and noticed a hand grabbing the railing. Brian thinks he saw a big ball of light flash above them. Steve braved his fear of heights to investigate the lighthouse. He too saw a shadow on the landing. After reviewing all the evidence, Jason and Grant made a declaration that sent chills through the paranormal community. Jason and Grant agreed that the St. Augustine Lighthouse is haunted. Paul Winglowski, the skeptical director who had hoped for debunking, had his worldview shattered after they showed him the footage. Well, I was a skeptic, but now believer. Since the TAPS team found evidence of potential entities that have crossed the veil, amateur teams and curious travelers have set their sights on this historic Floridian lighthouse, all hoping to verify the haunting legends. But here's what they don't realize. The ghost of St. Augustine Lighthouse have had over 150 years to perfect their supernatural abilities. Every investigation, every visitor, every person who climbs those 219 steps only makes them stronger, more confident, more willing to reveal themselves. The lighthouse isn't just haunted anymore. It's become a supernatural beacon, calling to the dead across vast distances and inviting them to join the eternal collection of souls that will never, never leave. Chapter 8, The Dark of the Moon. Question. What happens when you deliberately seek out the dead in their own domain? There is only one tour in St. Augustine, my night dwellers, that actually gets you in the lighthouse grounds and Keeper's House at night. They call it the Dark of the Moon Tour, and it's exactly as terrifying as it sounds. Picture this. You arrive as the sun begins to set over America's oldest city. The tourists have gone home, the gift shops have closed, and the lighthouse stands silhouetted against the darkening sky, like a black and white striped monument to the dead. Every guest receives a glow stick necklace to light their way through the lighthouse grounds at night. EMF meters, electromagnetic meters, are available for guests to rent. These detect energy fields, i.e., ghost. EMF meters that spike without explanation. Electronic devices that malfunction in the presence of supernatural energy. Temperature readings that plummet 20 degrees in seconds with no natural cause. Everyone is told, turn off your cell phones or put them on airplane mode, as receiving any phone calls or text on this tour can mess with the meter's signal. The guides explain some of their own experiences with ghostly sightings and say that now, after working at the St. Augustine Lighthouse, they all believe in ghosts. No skeptics there. Think about that, night dwellers. These are people who work at the lighthouse every day, who know every creaking board and shifting shadow. And even they have been convinced by what they've witnessed in the darkness. So the group shuffles down a spiral staircase to get to the basement level of the Keeper's house. The guide tells the story of Keeper Peter Rasmussen, who worked at the St. Augustine Lighthouse for many years, and whose wife died at the lighthouse too. In the basement, where the massive water cisterns stand like ancient tombs, the EMF readings go off the chart. Tour guides speak in hushed tones about the large, dark mill spirit that hangs around the water collecting cisterns, supposedly a sailor or a former lighthouse keeper who hung himself in the 1930s. But here's where it gets truly terrifying. Guests are given free time to explore the keeper's house on their own, and they can even climb the 219 steps to the top of the lighthouse alone in the dark. Speaking with one couple, tour guides learned they are on the 10th dark of the moon tour. They say they have experienced the paranormal on this tour and come back to experience it again and again and again. 10 times they've returned, night dwellers. What kind of supernatural addiction drives someone back to the same haunted location again and again? What are they hoping to find? Or what has found them? Picture this. These guests climbed those 219 steps in darkness. Their glow stick necklaces providing the only illumination. They begin to understand why this tour has such a terrifying reputation. Every footstep echoes. Every breath seems magnified. And always, there's the sensation of being watched by something that doesn't belong to this world. The Dark of the Moon tour boasts that this tour is all ghost, and there are no gimmicks, meaning that the hauntings are authentic. No actors, no special effects, no manufactured scares. Just you, the lighthouse, and the dead. And when you finally reach the top of this lighthouse, gasping for breath and wondering if you even still have the courage to look out over the Atlantic, you might discover that what so many others have learned, some views are indeed worth dying for. And some souls have been enjoying that view for far longer than any living person should. Chapter 9. The investigation that changed everything. Question. What happens when paranormal investigators discover that they're not just documenting the dead, but they're communicating with them? In recent years, my night dwellers, paranormal investigation technology has advanced way beyond simple EF meters and digital cameras. Modern ghost hunters bring equipment sophisticated enough to allegedly facilitate actual communication with the dead. And when that technology was brought to the St. Augustine Lighthouse, it uncovered something that changed everything we knew about this haunted tower. An investigation conducted by a podcast host from Hillbilly Horror Stories and History Goes Bump brought state-of-the-art spirit communication devices to the lighthouse. What they discovered wasn't just evidence of the familiar ghost. The Pity children, the first story I told you, Peter Rasmussen, Joseph Andrew, they found evidence of entities that had never been documented before. The evidence discovered during this investigation brought about a new light to who or what may be haunting the St. Augustine Lighthouse grounds. Rick? Or a Mr. Green? Are they additions to the St. Augustine Lighthouse? Or have they been there all along? Rick was heard. Mr. Green was heard. New names, new souls, new evidence that the lighthouse isn't just maintaining its collection of spirits. It's actively recruiting more. But here's what made this investigation truly terrifying. The spirits weren't just responding to questions. They were asking their own. The spirit communication devices recorded voices demanding, "Who are you? And why are you in my lighthouse?" The spirits asked them why they were there. And most chillingly, one in particular said, "When are you going to leave?" Although it sounded more like this. "When are you going to leave?" Another one said, "This is our place." It came through one of the devices, and it was a child's voice that matched no known recording of the Pity sisters. Another child's voice asked, "Why won't you let us play?" The EMF readings during this investigation were unlike anything previously recorded. Spikes so intense they caused multiple devices to malfunction simultaneously. Temperature dropped so severe that investigators' breath became visible in the humid Florida air. And through it all, the constant sensation of being, oh, you haven't heard this, touched by invisible hands. Oh yes, these spirits are interactive, I would say. Touching arms, lightly tugging on hair. But the most disturbing discovery was architectural. The investigators found areas of the lighthouse that don't appear on any official blueprints. Hidden spaces where the EMF readings reach levels that shouldn't be possible with current technology. As the paranormal field of technology and methods around that technology advances, it will be very interesting what else we can learn from these guaranteed readings of insanely high EMF spikes and spirit box methods. Because the truth is becoming clear, night dwellers. The St. Augustine Lighthouse isn't just haunted by its documented tragedies. It's becoming a supernatural nexus, a place where the boundary between life and death has been completely eroded by 150 years of accumulated sorrow, violence, and obsessive love. And with each new investigation, each new piece of technology, each new attempt to communicate with the dead, we're not just documenting paranormal activity, we're feeding it, strengthening it, making it hungrier. The lighthouse has learned to use our technology against us, and now it's calling to spirits across vast distances, inviting them to join its eternal collection of souls. The investigation that was supposed to provide answers has instead opened a door that can never be closed again. Chapter 10. Final question. What happens when the dead realize they have more power over the living than the living have over them? Today, my night dwellers, the St. Augustine Lighthouse stands as more than just a historic landmark or a tourist attraction. It has become something far more sinister, a supernatural sovereign state where the dead outnumber the living, and the rules of our world no longer apply. The lighthouse operates on a schedule that honors both the living and the dead. During daylight hours, tourists climb 219 steps, admire the Fresnel lens, and listen to sanitized stories about maritime history. Tour guides speak carefully about alleged supernatural activity and reported ghost signs. But when the sun begins to set over St. Augustine, when shadows stretch across Anastasia Island like grasping fingers, when the first stars appear in the darkening sky, everything changes. The daytime staff know the rules. There's not a question about it. Everyone knows the rules. When darkness falls, the lighthouse belongs to its eternal residents. The current groundskeeper, the brave soul who maintains the lighthouse during daylight hours, speaks of his supernatural co-workers with the weary acceptance of a man who has learned to coexist with the impossible. This is what he has said. I've seen things move on their own, he admits quietly. I've seen doors that open and close without any wind. Tools that arrange themselves overnight. And always the feeling that I'm being watched by something that's been here far longer than I have. But he's made peace with them, as one must when sharing workspaces with the eternal residents of the lighthouse. The spirits aren't malicious, he explains. They're just possessive. This is their home, and they've been here so long that they've forgotten they're supposed to be dead. And every night, without fail, the lighthouse's true residents begin their eternal routines. The Pity children resume their games, laughing, calling out, their laughter echoing through the towers as they play hide and seek among shadows that shouldn't exist. Peter Rasmussen lights his ghostly cigar and begins his search once again for his beloved wife. The scent of tobacco drifting through rooms where smoking has been prohibited for decades. Joseph Andrew continues his painting, still trying to complete the job that unalived him 160 years ago. Maria de los Dolores Mestre stands vigilant in the lamp room, her hands pressed against the windows as she watches for ships that will never come. And William Hard climbs those 219 steps just one more time, tending a light that burns with supernatural intensity, ensuring that no vessel, living or dead, will ever lose its way in the darkness. But here's the most terrifying truth of all, night dwellers. The lighthouse isn't content with its current collection of souls. Each investigation, each ghost tour, each brave visitor who climbs those stairs in the darkness creates new opportunities for recruitment. The spirits have learned that they can influence the living in subtle ways. A whispered suggestion here, a gentle push there. A moment of vertigo at the top of the tower that could easily be mistaken for natural causes. Because you see, my night dwellers, the St. Augustine Lighthouse has discovered the ultimate secret. The dead don't have to unalive the living to claim them. They just have to make them want to stay. And as the lighthouse beam sweeps across the Atlantic each night, casting its supernatural glow over the dark Atlantic, it sends a message to anyone who can see beyond the veil. Welcome home. Your shift begins at sunset, and it never, ever ends. The St. Augustine Lighthouse, where love transcends death, duty becomes eternal, and some beacons guide souls not to safety, but to supernatural servitude that last forever. And so we conclude our ascent of the St. Augustine Lighthouse. But unlike those 219 steps that lead back down to solid ground, our journey into darkness has no easy descent. The terror we've shared tonight will follow you long after you leave the night realm. This was no mere ghost story, my devoted followers of the darkness. This was a testament to the power of duty, love, and tragedy. So profound that it tears holes in the very fabric of reality. We've witnessed children who turned a construction site into their eternal playground. We met lighthouse keepers so devoted to their calling that death couldn't force their retirement. We've seen how love can become obsession An obsession can become a supernatural prison. Remember the names we've spoken tonight. Night Dwellers. Eliza and Mary Pitty, whose laughter still echoes through the tower. And the girl that was with them, who remains nameless. Peter Rasmussen, forever searching for his beloved wife, with a cigar between his ghostly lips. Joseph Andrew, still trying to complete the paint job that unalived him. Maria de los Dolores Mestre, the widow who loved too deeply to ever truly leave. William Ham, the Civil War veteran who turned lighthouse keeping into a sacred duty that transcends death itself. These aren't just ghost stories. They're love stories. Stories of people who cared so deeply about their responsibilities, their family, their calling, that they chose eternal servitude over peaceful rest. And if you ever find yourself in St. Augustine, if you ever see that black and white striped tower rising against the Florida sky, remember what your night queen told you tonight. Remember that some beacons guide ships to safety, while others collect souls for eternity. You have climbed with me tonight to the very top of terror and emerged forever changed. Take these shadows with you as you return to your ordinary world. But never forget that places like St. Augustine Lighthouse exist, where the boundary between life and death is as thin as lighthouse glass and just as fragile. Until we meet again in the night room, my beautiful followers of the darkness, keep the terror alive in your hearts. And if you ever visit America's oldest city, remember to look up at that lighthouse after sunset. You might just see them waving back at you from the lamp room, the eternal residents who never, ever truly left their post. Tonight, with it being my last night for a while, I am going to just come back into the chat and talk with you for a few minutes, and we'll go ahead and end the live on that note. Thank you all for joining me tonight for the St. Augustine Lighthouse, and thank you all so much who came into the box and shared your story. I love them all. I love you all. And now I'm going to come in. You are welcome, Gracie. Most welcome. I'm glad you liked it. Glad you liked it, Julie. You're welcome, Palm. Hey, Leslie Marie. You're welcome, a Marine's daughter. I'm glad you liked it, Sally A. Reese. You need one more whisper. One more whisper. Let's see. Sweet dreams. Night dwellers. If you can manage them after tonight, the light never goes out. And neither do they. Was that creepy? You're welcome, Lulu. That was just for you, Harper. That's right. You're good? All right, good. I'm glad. Want to check on you and make sure. It really is. And whisper his name. Which one? Hold on. I will, Gracie. Thank you. Like I said, I will be posting content and letting y'all know, you know, when I'll be coming back in. I will be back on the 6th, but I will be going live that Monday night. So. Do you like scary stories? Do you like scary stories? No, we are actually going to just hang out at the beach. We have some family there, and yes, I'm as pale as I am. I'm going to lay on the beach. Harper's happenings. Are you scared to go to bed? Oh, for sure. Eddie Santiago. I will not forget my sunscreen. I promise. But the thing is, I have to put so much on that because I am so fair. Silly goose. Okay, so I can honestly say that I will burn and then I go back to being white again. Like, I cannot tan to save my life, and it aggravates me so bad. I always wanted to be one of these golden beach girls who had the golden goddess tan, and finally I just gave up on it. I'm like, it's not going to happen. So that's right. Come on, one. Ice packs, yes. Who else would like that name whispered by the Night Queen? That's it, Aaron. That is what I am forever doomed to be. White. I cannot tan. I just cannot do it. Legend of the 80s. Alicia. Indiana girl. I see you. One second. Welcome, dear mortals. Hold on. Welcome, mortals, from the haunted mansion ride. Oh no, Eric Jones. I'm so sorry. We are playing around right now, whispering voices creepily. Leslie Marie, thank you for joining. I am. Thank you, Leslie Marie. I am having way too much fun. Hello, Bunny Love Galore. How are you this evening? No. No, Lulu. I am not back yet. Thank you, Judy Willis. Bunny Love Galore. Lovely name. Tracy. Truskinsky. I see you. I'm watching from the shadows. I would actually love to do that, Leslie Marie. Absolutely. Yes. We are leaving tomorrow. That is too funny. I will, Julie. Thank you for all that you do. Benet awaits. Suddenly I am feeling very hungry. Good night, Leslie Marie. I know, right? That is like one of the creepiest sounds. I think the Halloween theme, which was just a simple piano, is one of the most terrifying pieces of music, and then the other, and then the other is Friday the 13th. Thank you, Alicia, Indiana girl. I mean, it just definitely is. So we had a good amount of likes. They were just split up over 3 shows. You agree, James? Yes, they are 2 of the most terrifying. It never fails. That movie, Halloween, came out. When did it come out? In the 70s? And it is tried and true as one of the most terrifying musical pieces. 78. I thought it was somewhere around there. Yeah, it's been around a while. When did Friday the 13th come out? Was that the 80s? I think, maybe. I know, that's crazy. I love Jaws. Jaws is one of my favorites. I really like destruction movies, shark movies. I love it. One of my favorite shark movies is Open Water. That one is really good. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, that is a real good one. It seems like a lot of y'all like that. Might have been Harper's Happenings. How's your little woof woof doing? I watched the first one, but I never watched the second one. Is that one creepy? I watched a terrifying movie the other night called The Black Coat's Daughter. That was so scary. There you go. Yeah, definitely glad that you learned how to swim that summer. I love swimming. So I'm going to come back refreshed and ready to kick it in gear with new, exciting, terrifying, scary stories. And I'm going to miss you all. Thank you, James. Thank you very, very much. And like I was saying, I will, be posting mini stories. So that way, you'll at least have something to listen to. But don't forget about YouTube. If you haven't joined over there, it's free. And you will have access to all the content there. Thank you, Bunny Love Galore. That's great, Harper's Happenings. Love that. Did I see Eat, Drink, and Be Rosie come to the live? If I did, hello. Hello, Lauren. How are you? I thought I saw her. Yeah, so it's totally free. Good, Lauren. So how many of you are getting ready to go on vacation? You did, Lauren. But if you are subscribed on YouTube, that is free. I will make it available for you to be able to listen to it tomorrow. You're going in August? Nice. I know, Kimmy, you're going next week. Have fun. Hello, Lucid Dreams. How are you? Doing well? So hey, during this time, that I'm gone, watch the stories. There's a big library of stories that you can listen to, and just start telling people about the live, and if they love scary stories, I'm sure that they will love this. We had bad storms here too. I am, Harper. We are going to St. Augustine, and I've always wanted to tour it. The only thing that I dread about Florida is the humidity. That's the only thing. Thank you, Paul. I will say that the stories on here are just becoming more chilling. I am really tapping in to the creepy element of it and having a lot of fun. And thank you all for your support and just kind of rolling along with what I do. Uh-oh. Flagler College and the Fountain of Youth. I want to go to the Fountain of Youth. Good night, legend of the 80s. Sweet dreams. Oh, that would be great. Honey, are you jotting all this down? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about that too. You love and enjoy the Night Dweller family every night, 5 days a week. The conversation continues in the Discord. So I believe they're posting that channel up there now, and you can come in. I am very excited to go in there and see those pictures that were sent of the paranormal experience. Excited to see that. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Hello, her dark wings. How are you? Flagler College. We've got about 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. Oh, I just heard Citrine. She's outside the door. The oldest school. I know, Palm. I just heard her. She's at the door. Let me see if I can get her in here for a second. Citrine. Citrine. Little girl. Kitty, 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 kitty. Come here. Yeah, I'm right here. Hold on. What is it, little girl? What is it? Look, who's that? Yeah, she's such a baby. Who is that? Stop, stop. It's a train. Good Lord. Hold on, hold on. There we go. Is that better? Is that better? Yes. You have your own sticker. You do. Goofy girl. What is the name of it? You know what, Lauren? I'm not above that. I think she would be very popular, wouldn't you? Oh. I was looking. She's a cutie. She's a mess. What? What? Lost Highway 1997. Want to come back and say hi? You better not knock that over. Thank you. I thought I'd give y'all a little taste of citrine. What? Yeah, it really is. I mean, I haven't, I've never been there, but, you know, I've heard that the architecture is really lovely. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Silly girl. It's a weird one. I have seen some weird, scary movies lately. The Black Coat's Daughter, that one is chilling. And then I watched one called, I never could wrap my mind around that movie. I think it was called Satan or something. It looked like it was going to be, like in the Appalachian Mountains, and there was something, I don't know, it's just different. It's one of those that messes with your mind. You know what I mean? Like when you go to bed, you're thinking about it, and it's like one of those that you just cannot immediately erase. Like I've seen some scary movies and I'm just like, meh. But then there are others that just stick. Oh goodness. Is that the one that Legend of the E.T.s was talking about, Lauren? Hello. Well, you're the one that keeps getting hung. All right, my loves. I love them too. Apple Plus has got some really good ones. When I go in there, I go into horror, and then it has like each one of them categorized. And I go to the supernatural shocks, and I've seen some really good ones. All right, all. I am hungry and I am ready to eat. I love you all. I will see you soon. Take care. What are you doing? Situation. You're an ass. No. No. Nope. Nope. Once upon a time, in the dark woods, there was a child. She never knew exactly what her calling was, but it was something different, something unique, something special, something lovely. And when the light never goes out, and neither do they, ever. And that's why I didn't want you up here. You heard me. You heard me. I don't want you back up here. No, ma'am. No. No. Hello, Night Dwellers, and welcome to Twisted Tales Live. I am your host, Bryn Morgan. I have a question for you. Do you like scary stories? Stop! Stop it.